In this video, we're going to talk about liquidity. Now, first of all, what is liquidity? Well, liquidity is areas that retail traders would potentially put their stop losses. And the reason why this is important is because in order for these institutions to gain control of the market, they need to manipulate price in order to get these retail traders out of their positions. And once the retail traders are out of their positions, that means the institutions have complete control. So where liquidity lies is often a target for institutions. And with that, it can leave a big picture as to where price is actually going to go. So when looking at liquidity, it's often a great idea to look at retail concepts. And the standard sort of retail concept would be support and resistance. So let's just say this, for example, we've got a floor and a ceiling. So when price is moving up, we get a rejection, and then the next time we come up here, the standard sort of retail trader will go, okay, well, we formed a high here, so the next time I'm actually going to sell right here, okay? And with this in mind, what these retail traders are going to do, they're going to wait for some sort of rejection candle, they're going to put their stop loss above the high, and then they're going to target the downside. So with this in mind, you can see that the stop loss would be at this point. Now, this is where liquidity lies, okay? So this is a great target for banks, and what banks will often do is they will target this liquidity. Even if they want price to go down, what they will do is they will push price up, take the retail traders out of these positions, and then they will force price back down. And the great thing is that this liquidity is often quite easy to spot. So where can we spot this liquidity? Well, the basic understanding is that above equal highs and below equal lows resides liquidity. Okay, that is because the standard retail trader will be selling from the double tops and the double bottoms, and they will be leaving their stop losses above, which means that above the equal highs and the equal lows, that's where their money is. Because when they get stopped out, they get taken out and they lose money. And when they get taken out and lose money, that means that the banks are in control. They gain control over that position, and then the market is theirs to then move. So we now know that liquidity needs to get taken at some point or another, okay? And where equal lows and equal highs, there is liquidity. So with that in mind, we could then formulate a bias to sort of understand where the institutions and the banks want to go. So in this example here, I've actually included an imbalance. And from the prior video, you'll actually understand that at some point, an imbalance needs to get filled. And what we also have is these equal lows. So we have some liquidity. Now with this in mind, what we can understand is at some point price needs to get down to this area. And what we can do is in the future videos, I'll explain how we can potentially enter a trade and enter a trade setup in order to target these areas. But what we can understand is at some point, we can then use our understanding of liquidity and imbalance needing to get filled to then formulate our bias and then potentially sell off towards that direction, having imbalance fill or liquidity as our target. So in this video, we've learned about liquidity and how we can actually utilize it to form a bias, but also how it can be seen as a target. So when we're actually in a trade, we can potentially use it to actually target, put a take profit, etc., etc. Now, going forward, this will all help us paint the picture in order to take a trade. And this can be one of our confirmations for taking a trade.